and welcome to Spooky Season of Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave and I will be discussing Whirling Witchcraft. So Whirling Witchcraft, there's a few things with it. This game is milestones in multiple ways. So the first milestone is that it is my first ever unboxing of the game, which we recorded and is on our YouTube under Dice Jesters. And then the second one is this was our impulse buy.
It was.
It was. We knew nothing about it, and we were in a local game cafe, and when we were in there, you kind of were just like, oh, is there a game that looks interesting? And we were looking at a clearance shelf, and it was there, and it was $20, and you were like, yeah, we can get it. And then we went to the checkout, and the lady said, oh, do you guys love sabotaging games? And we were like, yeah, we do. And she laughed and she said, this is going to be perfect for you because you mess with one another's cauldrons. Mm-hmm. And as you and I were walking outside, we were laughing because you're just like, oh, I'm going to mess with your cauldron. Like, oh, I didn't even realize. And it's been sitting on our shelf in the plastic until recently.
When we got this, did we have the idea for all the spooky episodes, or did we just like the witch artwork and stuff?
It was just the artwork that we liked because you said that it was by that one artist from The Bloody Inn or something like that.
Yeah, he made The Bloody Inn, and I really liked that art style. So that was what drew me in. I knew nothing about the game, I just liked the art.
I know nothing about either game. I just know that Bloody Inn's coming sometime.
Yes.
Sounds fantastic. And then for my first impressions of this game, initially in the video, if you do happen to watch it, I am pretty confused because it's my first ever unboxing and I really don't know what cards or pieces go to what. But then after looking at it again as we're setting up for our first round, focusing on the components separately, it makes so much sense. So there's step cards where it shows you, okay, it's this phase, and it shows you how a round works. And then there's Arcana cards, and there's two. There's the Arcana cards where you do the placement, and then there's one where it shows you how each of those tokens work. And then you get assigned a witch, which looks really cool. So there's witch cards, and then with all of that, you have your ingredient conversion cards that you will put into your cauldron to pass to the person. So Dave, after reading the rule book, because you read it, would you say that that is basically the game?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You get these recipe cards and you play one of them in front of you each round, it looks like. And then we reveal those, and then you take cubes of different colors, of which there are 5, and you use those to trigger the abilities of those recipe cards, which just gives you additional cubes that then go onto your cauldron that you then pass to the other player. And I had to read the rulebook a couple of times because it didn't make sense how this whole economy of cubes worked. But you pass them to your opponent, they put those onto the workbench. For each color, there's a certain number of spaces. And basically, once the limit of that particular color is reached, the excess cubes then go back to the other player in a 2-player game into their wit circle. Mm-hmm. And once you have 5 cubes in your wit circle, you win the game. So you're just trying to overrun your player's board with too many ingredients that they can handle, and then try to get those to come back to you so you can win the game.
Yeah, and I feel like this game in general is just so fitting for not only this time of year, but just the type of activities that we've done so far this month. Since just a few days ago, we had gone to the Curiosities and Oddities. All of these recipe cards just kind of remind me of some of the items that we saw there. Yeah. So it was as if we went to a little event to get in the mood for this game.
As a pairing.
Yeah. So that makes sense on why I didn't bring a drink.
Well, the pairing was the experience of the Curiosities and Oddities Expo.
Yes, I completely forgot about the pairing.
That's
okay. To be truthful. So I'm just using that as an excuse.
It's all good.
So hopefully that works. But I'm excited to get into this. I'm excited to have a full circle of this game, from unboxing and seeing it together for the first time to both playing our first playthrough together and figuring out how many rounds it takes to learn the game for both of us. Yeah. And if we like it. So.
I'm really excited. So should I set it up?
Yeah, we can finish setting it up. You can finish dealing the cards, and we can get into our plays. Well, 6 rounds later, I finally win.
The last one. Yes.
The last one. I don't know why. I generally feel well, have felt that I've been really good at conversion games, from when we played like Golem Century to what's another resource game that we initially played prior to our spooky season. Because this really isn't a resource. I mean, maybe it is a resource game. Kind of. But you're not building resources for yourself. And there's really no, like, points to the resources. So if you use mushrooms to convert into spiders, there's not a point difference. It's more so I'm just handing you the blue squares over the red squares.
Yeah.
But I thought I was really good at that based off of Sentry Golem. Really did. And then I went into this thinking, this will be a cakewalk. And then we did it. And I lost 5 times in a row. And I just couldn't comprehend what I wasn't understanding. Because this game is so straightforward and easy, you could teach it to anybody.
Well, I think there were a couple of things in the first round that you and I both didn't quite wrap our heads around. And then once we understood that, the way that the game flows became a lot clearer. And it was the fact that you can use multiple ingredient cards and not just one. And that you can also, when you generate some kind of colored cube with those ingredient cards, you can then use those as inputs to other ingredient cards. So it's this whole engine that you can build within the cards themselves that neither of us realized. And then the Arcana track, neither of us were really paying that much attention, but anytime you reach an even numbered spot on the Arcana track with any of the 3 different types, you trigger that ability, even if you move past it. And I think there were a few where the order got a little messed up, where we didn't realize that you're supposed to do that before you do all the ingredient stuff. And then it was a little bit too late to then go back to use the abilities. So the first round was almost a wash, but then once we understood those few key elements of the game, it moved a lot quicker and everything ramped up a lot faster in general, I would say. You know what?
I think you hit it on the nose. You said engine building game.
Yeah.
That's why I'm terrible at it.
Oh.
Because remember Space Base? Well, I don't remember if I won at Space Base. No, I lost at Space Base.
Yeah.
Because it was an engine building game. And even though I look like I'm doing really well in comprehending it, for some reason, I don't do well.
Well, it's tough though, because this is an engine building game at its heart, but you're building an engine in a weird way where it doesn't directly build your own engine, but you're paying attention to the other player's board. And you're trying to get the right ingredients to give them that will give them too much of a certain type. You don't want to give them the right amount for them to be able to use for their own engine, but you want to give them excess. So it's like this whole push and pull.
Sabotage-y.
Yeah, it is, but it was difficult for me to wrap my brain around at first. And I'll be honest, I don't know about you, but the first game, I was thinking, like, I don't know about this game. I'm just a little bit confused, and it seems like it drags on a little bit too long. Like,
yeah, the first game went a while for us.
Yeah.
But that's because we were using one card at a time.
Yeah, there's no way that this game can be fast if you're just doing one card, but with multiple, it really got going. So how do you describe the overall experience after like about 6 plays?
After 6 plays, after I fully understood it, I thought it was a really good game. I like when my brain is tired at the end and I'm still thinking of, oh, I could have done this, or this better. The only downside, I would say, after playing 6 rounds with 2 players is these cards, what are these?
The character cards.
The character cards, because it seemed as if when we pulled randomly, I was ending up with the same characters. And I would have to give the characters back to re-pull because I wanted to try different characters.
Yeah.
So that, to me, was just a bit of a downside. But again, we're playing with 2 players, so we cycled through them.
And how do you think that the 2-player experience compared to what you would imagine a multiplayer experience to be? Because with more than 2 players, what you do is you pass your cauldron, I think, to the right, and then you give the cubes back to the person on your left. So you're having to look at the player on your left and then the player on your right. And you're trying to get cubes from the person on your right onto your board, but you're trying to also see what the player on your left is going to be passing to you. So it's a little bit of paying attention to multiple people.
I think with more players, that it would be really fun. So I thought that playing with 2 players was fun, but I was able to really pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Well, if you play with multiple players, it's like the game, what is that game? Where, have you ever in grade school sit in a circle and you all clap hands, like you have your hands side to side, and you like clap the other person's?
Right.
And you have to pay attention to the whole circle because if you get clapped, you get out, like
Yeah.
you lose. And that's how it feels. You have to pay
those
attention
games
to the
stress me
whole
out.
circle. Yeah. So, no, I like those.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Duck Duck Goose for some reason.
No. Because Duck Duck Goose, you could just intentionally get like the same person if you wanted.
Yeah, I was always picked because I'm slow.
Oh, I was never picked. Not because I'm fast. I don't know, but yeah, I liked that a lot, and I think this would be a really fun game to play with more players. This game in general was fun with 2, but I would love to get Lupin in here, train him up real well, have him play a round or 2.
Yeah, it's tough because I really do enjoy it with 2 players. The fact that I was trying to figure out each game which color I wanted to really press onto you. Like some games it was blue, some games it was green, others it was red. And then when you notice what color I was really going for, you would try to find cards to be able to use more of that color.
Yeah.
And then I would realize that you have all these cards that let you do that. So I need to shift to a different color. And then meanwhile, you're doing the same thing to me. So it's really this really cool economic aspect that goes on.
Hidden with beautiful imagery.
Yeah, the artwork is great.
I know, I love it. I love it so much. I love the colors. I love, here we go. You're like, oh, here we go, Julie. Just talking about the artwork. And I'm like, ah.
The artwork is so important. I think it really
so
draws you into the game. It elevates the experience.
Well, in general, it's really important for me because if I don't like the artwork, I get really distracted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big plus for me. Overall, what would your rating be?
I would give this somewhere maybe around like a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of fun, and I think that I can tell how much fun I'm having by when I start giggling.
Okay.
Because I had these whole master plans in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just fun to see those play out and then see your different colors become overwhelmed to the point where I would start getting those back in my witch circle, and that was just a fun thing to wrap my head around. So I had so much fun.
Yeah, I would give it a 4, and the reason for that is because we played it as 2 players, so the character cards we cycled through really quick, and then I would say having to pass the cauldron to one another as opposed to maybe a third or plus, because it goes 2 to 5, right?
I think so, yeah.
And I feel like this game is meant for 3+.
I think it'd be a really good 3-player game.
Yeah, and I'm
3 or
just
4.
saying that based off of our experience playing with 2, but adding in additional players would just make it more fun because you're going to be staring at multiple boards and the cauldrons are going to be circling around.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
You could make a whole evening of this. Like, really set the mood.
Right, you could get some candles lit, dim the lights a bit, dress up as your boards that you choose, because each board kind of has like an element take to it, depending on which one you have, because the board you have has a frog and it's more blue, so it's kind of like you're a sea wizard. And then mine,
sea wizard.
Yeah, mine has like candles and spiders, so I'm like a fire witch. So you could literally get into character with this, and I think that's really fun.
Yeah, and one thing I just realized too is the fact that there aren't really turns in this. Everything's pretty simultaneous, so even if you had 5 players, I don't think it would really increase the game time that much. It would still be really fast.
Yeah, and you could even play as your character card too. I know you talked about the game types, but I'm just going to circle back to mine. Building the experience.
Yes.
So in this round, I was the witch of all trades. So I could be referred to as the witch of all trades. You know,
For
you
the
could
whole
be the
evening?
daredevil. Yeah. So.
I love it. And you can make cool beverages in a cauldron type.
Oh, that would be cool. Okay, Dave. Okay, I see you thinking that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. This game is really fun, and I hope to find people to play it with just to test out the whole, if it would be more fun with others.
I agree. So would you say that this is a keep it to play or trade it away?
This is a keep it to play, and we could play it all season long. We don't have to wait until spooky season to play.
No, all year round is spooky season for us. We're into it.
Oh, very true, very true. Well, thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. It was so much fun.
Of course. And thank you so much for listening to us this week. Be sure to join us next week for our review of... What game are we playing next week? Is it The Bloody End?
Dracula versus Van Helsing.
Oh, okay. I hear the spooky in the title. But as the moonlight fades, our spells entwine, and the night whispers secrets of the divine. Until we meet again, may your cauldron bubble and your magic double.